Hello everyone, welcome to FPL Jedi Show. We are on Gameweek 20 deadline stream. Currently we at 12 midnight Malaysian time. We have around 2.5 hours before the deadline. So it's really coming thick and fast. But I would like to welcome Azmin to the show. How are you? How's your feeling?
I'm terribly sleepy, and I actually did fall asleep at about about 10 plus just now at one point, and I woke up in a panic. But of course, I'm ready to go after that false double game week we just had. Let's hope that this the game week 20 double game week will actually have some production this time.
All right. So how you ends up with game week 19 overall, mean?
Oh gosh, I think it was only on 41 points. And to be fair, I was hoping I wouldn't get any worse, but then um because a lot of people out there, there were those around me who had say Kepa and made or Mason Mount. So and I mean the other popular players on the Fulham side were of course Mitrovic and Andreas, who most had, and Mitrovic was suspended anyway. But Chelsea, of course, decided to still not turn up and fall 2-1 to Fulham. So not. I mean, I still dropped a bit and ended up bypassing that 3 mil mark. But Kepa and Mount didn't do anything either. I think Mount was on what 1 point anyway.
Yep.
So it didn't hurt me. I was as much as I thought it would.
All right. I end up with 58 points and dropped to 29,000 plus, but still in good condition. I'm really wants to move my rank up. I think I want really to take advantage of, I can say, a good season so far. But I think we need to be careful, especially game week 20 now. We will share later on the team news. There's a lot of things that we need to consume and then decide if you haven't made your transfer. Okay. But spoiler, myself have made transfer, and even Azmin, we will share our team later because we do not want to be priced out, especially on the double game week players for this week. We jump straight to game week 20 fixture main. Would like to reiterate there will be 4 teams playing twice this week, which is Manchester United, Manchester City, Tottenham Hotspur, and also Crystal Palace. As you can see, why our deadline stream early is because game week 20 will start off 4 a.m. tonight with Aston Villa versus Leeds United. And then we have 2 blockbuster game this week, start off tomorrow, Saturday, early kickoff, 8:30 p.m. Malaysian time, Manchester Derby, which Manchester United versus Man City. I think Manchester United really in good form now. City are quite inconsistent, especially they lost 2-0 in EFL Cup, losing to Southampton. So that's not really, but City would like to look to bounce back from this game, but it's going to be tough. And then at 11 p.m., we have Brighton versus Liverpool. We have relegation dogfight. There are 2 teams in this. Everton versus Southampton. Everton currently sitting on 18th place, and Southampton at the bottom of the league. We have Forest who climb out, I think slightly 16 or 15 place, but they are facing Leicester, so they want to take advantage their current form. Then we have Wolves at 19th place versus West Ham United at 17th place. So that's another dogfight match that they really need points. And then on Saturday midnight 1:30 a.m. we have Brentford and Bournemouth. Okay, there are some good news for Thomas Frank team. We shall later share where the main striker are back. And then we have Chelsea, who has been recording another defeat yesterday against Fulham. Graham Potter really under pressure now, and they are hosting Crystal Palace, who are playing twice this week. Then we have the informed Newcastle at 3rd place right now, fighting another high-flying team at 6th place. Whoever thought Fulham? So this can really be an interesting match. And then we end up, on Sunday midnight, London Derby big match, Spurs versus Arsenal. And then we know Crystal Palace and Man U and Man City versus Spurs that conclude of the double game week 20 fixture. There's really a lot of things are coming for this fixture. I mean, what's your thought?
This is insane double game week, and there's so many crazy matches going on. The United City match, the Spurs Arsenal rivalry renewing itself. At the same time, there's um, Newcastle versus Fulham, and you will see Mitrovic return to Newcastle and see what he can do. Then you have Forest coming off the back of the Carabao Cup controversy, and Leicester also coming back, but Leicester who lost against Newcastle, so that be something. And at the same time, you have Everton versus Southampton, which is the relegation battle, which and could this be the end for one of these managers, Lampard versus Jones? So yeah, it's lots to happen, and of course, there's also Brighton Liverpool, where Liverpool are really struggling, although they are still in 7th place, but Brighton are at 8th, so it's anyone's game there as well.
All right, it's really mouthful. Would like to welcome Rakat APL. So long we haven't seen you. You are in the stream today, so welcome. I think from this fixture, there's a lot of interest, especially on the 4 teams that are going to play double. So why not we jump straight first main to the Manchester Derby match? What have been Pep and Ten Hag been updating? There's some interesting quotes from them.
Okay, so the main thing is really Diego Dalot being unavailable, so that means EWB will slot in. So Martial looks as though he is gonna be a last minute fitness test, from the looks of it, and it's anyone's guess whether or not he'll be available. So we'll see. But Weghorst, not as mentioned, not available for tomorrow. But it's interesting that how Ten Hag has pretty much transformed this team. Previously, I think they got trashed by City the last time they met. I think it was 6-2 or something.
6-3.
6-3. So yeah, and that those 3 goals were really because City were just taking a break already, and it was just like some last goals towards the end. But you got the Varane Martinez partnership at the back. You've got Casemiro, Eriksen, who pretty much stabilized that midfield. Remember it was pretty much, remember the days of Fred at McTominay seems to be so far away now. And of course, we have Bruno Fernandes, although he's not the best FPL asset anymore, but he's still important. He's still key for United pulling the strings there. Okay, so coming to City. So John Stones not available. So this is definitely a source of frustration to some managers who had transferred Stones in early. And presumably one of the reasons they made it partly maybe to also help fund a move for Kane, and also for selling off Cancelo, who seems to be out of favor for Manchester City now. So other than that, it looks like Grealish appears to have displaced Foden as well. So Foden played the Carabao Cup and were upset by giant killer Southampton. Who would have thought? Southampton are bottom of the table actually, and they managed to whack City. Who, to be fair, City were not playing with full strength, but then they still had the likes of Alvarez, Foden, and Pep also still brought in KDB and Haaland onto the field at one point, but they couldn't get past and end up losing 2-0. So it's a bit rocky. It looks to feel a bit rocky at the moment. Yeah, but Mahrez is in form. He would have played. So definitely someone that a lot of FPL managers are looking at bringing in as well.
Yep. I think this crucial news. this is why it's important for us to wait until the team news. If we can do that, is because people are thinking about Dalo. Is already confirmed he is not available, so means that it's not an option for you to bring in. Until Malaysia could be doubtful, but he could start. Another one, like you mentioned, I still heard that FPL Harry already made move early for Johnstone and Kane, something like that. You mentioned. Now he will definitely be frustrated with this news. Stone will not be available. Whether he will play the second match against Spurs, we are not sure. So that's why if we can keep our transfer as late as possible is good. But we can understand. Let's say you make your transfer because you are afraid of price rising. Okay, but we
Yeah.
can see here if you thinking of Cancelo replacement, it could be Akanji or Laporte, because Akanji at 5 million, Laporte at 5.7 million, really, really good value. And I don't know whether you want to go with Luis, he's 3.9. You could do that, or Ake at 5 million, I suppose. So there's a lot of me. But can I say it's still a minefield at Man City backline. You just never know, because you still have Walker, still have Cancelo, you still have, I think, Gomez left back. So there can still a lot of things happening, and it's just try your luck, whichever defender that you feel. But I think the most secure, if you're thinking right now, which people are thinking, is Edison. If you can do that move to just lock in, just to make sure in terms of defense. But that's how it
Yeah.
goes, right?
To be fair, it looks like Rodri and Silva are also secure, but then they're not FPL. Um, Not much of FPL output, especially Silva these days. Um, but the threat of rotation is always going to be there with City, and that's where the concern is. Unlike last week with Chelsea Fulham, where the match was almost 1 week later. But for this one, it's only a few days. I think we talked about this in our midweek stream. Um, it's going to be a risk, especially the likes of Grealish and Mahrez or Foden, because they can interchange and come in. And I don't know if Alvarez might also have a shot, but maybe as a 4-4-2, given Haaland and KDB were rested in the Carabao Cup, and they were benched, I should say. Yeah. So, and Edison was benched as well.
Okay,
So
mate.
yeah.
Yeah. If you like, you still have Foden, maybe Mahrez could be a good alternative if you want to move there. But we just never know, right? Pep could actually
Mm,
turn out and play Foden the next two matches. We just won't know. It's just based on what you think. I think in terms of safety, in terms of minutes, I think KDB and Haaland pretty much secure. The rest, we just not sure.
yeah.
Okay, we already covered in terms of Man United and Man City team news. We go to the next one, which is tonight game, Villa versus Leeds. What's current managers have been saying, man?
Okay, so Matty Cash is doubtful. I mentioned there, so Carlos is out, so Konza is in as well. It's quite significant that McGinn is still sidelined, because he was used to be quite integral. But to be fair, they are playing against Leeds, so maybe that's okay. So Digne, although Digne is in that lineup, but you would think that his starting spot was going to be at threat now, because I can't remember who they transferred in.
Is it
But
Moreno?
yeah, there you go, Moreno, and definitely as a left back, and which probably tells you all you need to know about the fake Digne. All this while probably seeing the fact that they brought in a left back, it kind of Emery may have seen early that and not be fooled by not one of those managers getting fooled by Digne. So definitely there's going to be some issue there. But because of the double game week for other teams, otherwise Villa, you would think you would want to consider, against a very Ocho type Leeds. Anyway, so Leeds, on the Leeds side, the biggest thing is Brentford returning to training, but Somerville is now ruled out for a month. He broke out a bit earlier this season and looked like he was going to come in. Then yeah, but uh, other than that, it's Sinestra being out. but this should be a Villa win. You've got Emery squad who should be enough to see off Leeds.
All right. I think not so much interest, especially double game week players. We shall move to the next one, which is Brighton versus Liverpool. There is still a concern, man. Klopp mentioning about Nunes. I think that's a big news when people want to make transfer tonight.
Right. But before we get to that, let's go for Brighton quickly. So Trossard not being considered for selection for tomorrow's game. So that's huge. So now we know why he didn't play last week either. So there's an attitude. I don't know what's going on there. And if you remember the last time they met, Trossard had a hat trick. Yeah, he scored a hat trick. Yeah, so he's not going to be around. But to be fair, you got McAllister coming back. Definitely gonna. I mean, it's a strong team regardless. So coming to Liverpool, so Nunes out. It's.
Is he really out?
Yeah, we're not sure. Yeah, it seems like if he cannot train today, then yes. So if he does, but we don't know. We'll find out whether he trains today. I don't know. We do so far. We haven't heard anything about him training. So yeah, that might be a case to worry about. So but the biggest news is that Gakpo looks set to come in. So hopefully he'll be a bit more clinical than Nunes has been. Because if he gets the same amount of chances that Nunes gets, then it'd be up to him to score. So Robertson coming back in as the first choice, replacing Tsimikas. Then everyone else as is. I still think that Liverpool will have a decent chance here, even without Nunes. But they need to really tighten up their back.
Yep. Interesting to see Gakpo, this audition to Gakpo, if he can perform. We know Liverpool going to have double game week soon. I think this could be the turning point. We shall see. Okay, let's go to the next match, which is the relegation battle. Everton versus Southampton. Both teams are really need points. So what's the latest news?
Yeah, so there's quite a few on the injury list here. For Everton, we know that our FPL favorite cheap defender Nathan Patterson is out, and the problem is Iwobi is also out. And Iwobi, who has been one of the form players for Everton, he's out. That's going to hurt. But apparently DCL has made it through and still okay. But yeah, we're not looking for this match anyway. So Southampton, Alex and Theo might be coming back this weekend, but even if they do, they are going to be on the bench. So this is the 18th ranked team versus the 20th team. And Lampard will be hoping to find some way. But Southampton are, they're a bit drunk at the moment because after defeating Manchester City. So who knows? They may carry this on and sound the death knell for Lampard.
Yep. Okay, man, let's jump to the next match, which is Forest versus Leicester. Forest, I can say they drew against Chelsea and then win away to Southampton. So they still have form right now. But what's the latest news for both teams?
Well, I guess the good news for Forest is simply that Gibbs White seems to be okay and he'll play. Of course, there was a doubt, and he's fine. And of course, as long as Henderson is playing, we saw what happened after he was suspended against Manchester United. Sorry, he was ineligible to play against Manchester. But Gibbs White and Henderson are pretty much the backbone of this Forest side. So without them, they'll collapse. With them, they can do well. Okay, Leicester Madison continues to be out, and KDH, one of the breakout players, is also going to be out. So it's just a question of whether it's going to be Daka or Vardy. And I think in the Carabao Cup, Vardy did start, so I can see Daka starting for this one.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, we can see whether Forest can emulate their performance in EFL Cup to this
Just
league.
yeah. So I just want to point out for FPL, you know, with those of you who have Danny Ward, you know, and
Mm.
we do know that Forest aren't exactly high scoring machines. Uh, I do think Leicester will still concede, you know, and thanks to the Gibbs White magic. But if you don't have a choice, then yeah, what can you do? You'll just play Ward anyway.
Yep, 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 yep. Okay, next match main, another relegation battle, Wolves versus West Ham. What's the latest news for both teams?
Okay, so Wolves, you got Traore, not the other Traore. This is the B Traore, not A Traore. It's out. Then you have Pedro Neto, one of the, you know, one of those players tipped to shine at the start of the season, out. Diego Costa is out as well, but Diego Costa being out is fine. Not so much a problem now because Jimenez is back and he does seem to be looking good. Yeah, so let's see if he can keep it up and see him return to the Jimenez from 2 seasons ago, where who you could always rely on to score at least one goal. On West Ham, apparently they fit. Yeah, so nothing really issues there. We should
Yep.
see Skamaka in front instead of Antonio, and all else the same. So it's just the case of whether or not they can get some consistency and find form.
Yep, yep. Until West Ham perform, Bowen and the co. Until then, we will decide whether we want any West Ham assets. But for now, it's a no. Next game, main Brentford versus Bournemouth. There's good news for Brentford main striker Ivan Tony, I suppose. What's the latest news?
All right, so Brentford, basically everyone's fit, and the main thing is that Ivan Tony is back again after he was um not he was
Injured, right?
suspended. He was
I think
suspended
hmm,
for Liverpool. Um, suspended.
is he injured? He's injured
Yeah,
actually.
injured. Sorry, wrong play. Yeah, he was injured, and the Brentford didn't have. But credit to Thomas Frank, there's something there, you know. So and he pretty much confirmed that Tony will start, which is
Yep.
I wish Pep I wish this was Pep. So on Bournemouth side, so Gary O'Neill clearly looks like a person on death row, and you know, in his press conference, he looks a bit sad. And then in terms of the team news, it was, you know, as tweeted there, very vague. You know, he wasn't, you know, really trying to mention anything or be specific on anything. So yeah, so we don't know what's going on unless there was something in the embargo. But otherwise, you'd expect to see that team.
Yep. If you still have Tony, somehow rather, if you still have Tony, I think he's also his betting case also still not nothing news yet, right? So you are still can hold to Tony and enjoy. He could actually score big against Bournemouth, and the next two matches, Leeds United and Southampton, really also good on paper. So I
Yeah,
feel uh, you
I
should.
do I do feel Tony at his price he could do the equivalent of a double gamer for against Bournemouth. Yeah,
Hmm.
because given Bournemouth's problems and given Brentford's quality, and you know, and they motivated and on a high as well after defeating Liverpool 3-1 the other week last week.
Yep, yep, yep. All right, we go to the next match. My team, Chelsea versus Palace. As you can see there, the new debutant, Joao Felix, has been sent off against Fulham last game. So, what's latest news for both teams?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The more I think about Felix, it's just ridiculous. I mean, he's supposed to play how many games for this season, and now he's suspended for 3 of them, which
For three,
is
yep.
just, which is
Yep.
which is which is ridiculous. You know, what is the
It
problem here?
just sum up
Yeah,
Potter season. Yep.
you know, he's on loan. You should know better. I mean, obviously, when you're on loan, you want to
Maybe
be.
he's so excited to impress until he.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I need to focus. Okay, so Yeah, other than that, it's not so much about injury issues. Injuries are still the same, which is got James, Chilwell, who are still out. So you got Ziyech, Havertz, Pulisic, and Sterling are out as well. They've just confirmed that's longer than we thought. So that what you see, that is most likely going to be the lineup. Because no way you're gonna. Aubameyang is nowhere there. So Ziyech, Havertz, and Mount. So there is definitely some, there is some potential there, but definitely not at the moment. This is the low key London derby for this week. So on the
Yeah.
Palace side, so Palace are the ones who are having 2 game weeks,
Yep.
and Palace are really really bad as well at the moment. So I'm not sure which team is worse at this stage, Chelsea or Palace. But because Palace have a double, it does make their players a bit more interesting. So anyway, Mitchell's back from a 3-match ban, so that's fine. So now it's a case of, uh, can Palace get something out of Chelsea? Yeah, and I think that they can.
Yep. I agree. I think this if you have luxury move, then maybe Palace could be your asset. But for now, there's a lot of traffic for Man City and Man United asset for the double GB20. But Crystal Palace is still an option for you to go. Uh, we shall now visit Newcastle versus Fulham team. So what's the latest news? Because both teams are really riding on a high form right now.
Right. So Castle fresh off at winning the Carabao Cup quarterfinals, moving into semis. And they've got Isaac back, but based on what Howie is saying, then he'll have to be on the bench for now as they really try to nurse him back properly. Okay, so you got that lineup. One thing about Newcastle, in the league, I think they have kept 7 clean sheets in a row. I'm gonna have to look
Okay. All
at
right, all
that
right. Okay.
better, but those goes to show, in terms of the solidity. One thing to point out that Joe Linton, I think there's a drunk
Yep, yep,
driving charge going
yes,
on. So
yes.
so, so that's the
So,
case.
so that could be a case if they say how want to, yeah, internally punish Jolinton, but we shall see.
Okay, so let's see what happens there, but there's a bit of a risk there. For those who may have Wellington, then that's might be a candidate for you to change to a double game week player. So Fulham, fresh off the double game week, we clearly have Mitrovic and Pereira, are our go-tos, and Mitrovic is back for this one against his old team. So
Yep.
it's going to be interesting because Mitrovic has a terrible record against his old team. Actually, even though I'm mentioning it now, because he's never scored against Newcastle, or even it hasn't even assisted in anything against Newcastle. But of course, let's remember that this edition of Fulham is something else. So yeah, I wouldn't bet against him scoring.
Yep, yep. I agree with you. Although Newcastle really informed, especially you mentioning clean sheet, this could be another clean sheet for Newcastle, but we shall see. Last but not least, the London Derby, Spurs versus Arsenal. Spurs are playing double. So what's the latest news for both teams?
Well, I think with Spurs, Conte saying Kulusevski was ready play, just makes Kane more attractive. Yeah. So definitely you can see, even though Kane has 4 yellow cards, but he's definitely catching more interest. So you got Bentancur and Charlison, they are definitely still out. Okay, so that pretty much locks in Kulusevski if he's ready, and Son in. Son looks like, well, with his mask off, he seems to be doing better again. He scored a goal, so
Yep.
so let's see. But I think Perisic could be a good, because Spurs are of course one of the double game week teams, and Perisic, I can potentially see him do well here if you have the space for him. On the Arsenal side, so uh, So previously he said there was something about Saka, no issues. It's just a reminder. So it felt like, oh, nothing, he'll be fine. And now he just says, I think he will be okay. Yes. So it's like, he's just adding that little bit of doubt. So we'll see what happens
He's
there.
playing
Of
with
course,
us.
yeah. Of course, we know Jesus is out, still out, and of course that team is pretty much almost the aside from Jesus, almost the typical first 11 they've selected throughout the season, except for maybe Zinchenko, who's
Yep. Yep.
sometimes for
Yep.
party.
I feel this another big test for Arsenal if they can
It
actually
is.
overcome Spurs. I think they will be continue to increase their accreditation to win the league this season. Okay, but we shall see this another match interesting Manchester Derby match and also London Derby Spurs versus Arsenal. All right, okay, let's see what's next. The top transfer traffic mean we shall see who are the most transfer in and out. Would you be surprised? Number one is Luke Shaw. I feel before this red shirt has been topping the chart until late. I just snapshot this before we came to live stream, and Shaw is actually the number one now, but it's a close call between Shaw and Rashford. Both are at 650, 640,000 transfer in by managers. Okay, and it coincides with double game week where Manchester United are having. Kane is another one on top of Darwin news just now. It just keep the traffic for Kane more increase after tonight. 587,000. Mitrovic is a surprise one, I suppose. Mitrovic, Fulham, I don't know why. He has 303,000. It should be Martial there more logical, but Mitrovic is there, number 4, and KDB. Okay, we're not surprised. He's playing twice. But who are actually funding these players? Trossard is the first one to go, and Derzerbi did mention that he's not considered for selection, so there's no surprise. 569,000 has shipped out Trossard from their team. Salah is the second one, most probably for KDB. Cancelo, no surprise into some minutes. It's not secure. He has been recording like 1.2 points since his return. 406,000 says he needs to go. Tony, we just mentioned about he's actually going to start, but he actually fourth most transfer out with 383,000 medias shipped him out. And Darwin, maybe the latest news from Klopp. That's why 380,000 medias has says he needs to go. So what can you make of this transfer traffic?
All right. Firstly, that Shaw is pretty much everyone dumping Cancelo and heading for a more secure double gamer. Yeah, and Shaw's cheaper and Cancelo as well. So it frees them enough funds. So I'm on one of those Rashford movers at second. Kane, yeah, so pretty much these are all the expected people, and KDB because and that's also quite clear that those who are dumping, most of them who are dumping Salah are going for KDB. Yeah, or either that or a combination Rashford because there's still about 140,000 unaccounted for. Um, but yeah, Mitrovic is still a surprise. Were there people who were transferring him in for the midweek game, not realizing that it was part of the last week's last week's game? There might be some screw ups there. Yeah. Um, or die-hard Fulham fans wanting to see them Newcastle. I don't know. Trossard was definitely the moment we saw that it was always going to go off. So yeah, no surprises. Tony being transferred out. Uh, I don't know. I don't know about this one really.
Yep.
Is it to make way for Kane as well? Of course it had to be a combination, not just Tony himself, but because Tony's matchup is favorable,
Yep.
and him being transferred out this game week is quite mystifying because he was suspended last week. Yeah, so unless they only transfer for realizing that late and transferring it now. Darwin, of course, is that doubt is always going to hang for
Yep.
now.
Yeah. That doubtful, and his price tag at 8.99 million is a lot of money if keeping Marvin. And to be fair, he's not really performing in terms of points. He might have chances, but in terms of points, I think he scored 2, 5, and 1 since his return. So I can understand the feeling. All right, I think those are the traffic transfer. If you're making this move, it's logical because people are making this move. So that's should answer if you are still uncertain of what kind of move you need to make. Okay. All right. We go to quickly on the booking list or the suspension. The people are returning for game week 20 is most definitely Mitrovic is back for this game week 20. Bisoma from Spurs, Onana, Everton, and Azmin did mention about Mitchell returning from his 3-match ban from Crystal Palace. The players are banned for this week. Surprise, surprise. Whoever thought Felix will be in this ban, and he actually will be banned potentially 3 matches. And then Adam Smith collected his 5th yellow card, and he will be suspended, I think, for this game B20. All right. On the 4 yellow card sticker, I just want to mention 2 players, prominent players, are coming into the list, man. Saka with 4 yellow cards, and then Trippier with 4 yellow cards. Okay, the rest the same. The rest the same, but we like to remind Kane still on 4 yellow cards. He's been awarded with yellow cards against Arsenal. He will miss Man City game. So that's a precaution. So, man, what you can mention on this?
Okay, so nothing really. I think obviously the Mitrovic return is a boost for Fulham, and Mitchell could help with that Crystal Palace defense a bit as well. Who knows now? I'm, I'm just trying to see how Crystal Palace can do better. We all know Felix things. Nothing really to talk about. Kane stays there, just like Mitrovic. On my own part, I got both Shah and Trippier, so that also makes me not want to consider Kane as well. 4 yellow card players is a bit too much.
Fair. All right. Okay, man. I think we can go to our team selection. I will go to my team first. Okay. I already made my 2 transfer. I take a hit because I have enough money to do Salah and Darwin out for KDB and Kane. Both are double game week players. I have no money in the bank. I made the transfer yesterday. Hopefully, they're going to play this game. In terms of team news, both media are not mentioning any concern for these 2 players. So with that move, I'm going to have so-called 6 double game week players. Why I did mention that, because Cancelo, we're just not sure, but I have him as one of the double game week players. I have Shaw, okay, I have KDB, I have Rashford, I have Haaland as my captain, and Harry Kane. As we all know, despite the tough matches, I think he's the most consistent after Haaland in terms of scoring players. The rest, I will keep Kepa over what? I still keep faith that Chelsea could salvage against Crystal Palace and hopefully keeping some clean sheet. Trippier will be there against Fulham. Okay. Almiron, I think this is a good match if they can take advantage of Fulham, but we just won't know. Fulham still riding on a high form right now. Martinelli against Spurs, but I just want to play the Arsenal asset. They are, in fact, the top of the league. Mitrovic against away to Newcastle. Azmin did mention in terms of statistics, Mitrovic has not returned anything against his old club, but maybe this could be the week. I'll play him, and the rest already answered. I will just keep this team with 6 double game players. Maybe people will mention, Hafiz, why not take another hit? Negative 8 points for Cancelo and bring in Akanji or Laporte. That could be another option. I was thinking about Stones, but Stones are out now. But I feel maybe I give Cancelo another chance in double game player and see how it works. That my teammate for game week 20. Anything you want to comment?
Yeah. I mean, I have to agree on the Cancelo thing. I don't think it's worth selling him because he still might have a chance of playing in the second match anyway. So but I guess you're sticking with the tried and tested for Haaland as captaincy. Um, Other than that, yeah. So it's fine. I love how I'm one of those who doesn't have Shaw. So, but other than that, it's a pretty solid team, except for Kepa, of course.
I won't play over what. Please play whoever play at home, and I hope Chelsea can turn this around. Okay. We go to your team, I suppose.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me just present. I'll just share my screen. Um, let's see. Okay, let
Yep.
me know you can see my screen already.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
so I've made my transfer which is to Sterling to Rashford. But firstly, okay, so Guaita versus Ward. So after my initial panic midweek, I realized that Crystal Palace are playing the first. I remember that they're playing Chelsea first match, and Chelsea aren't exactly great either. So they may actually have a chance of getting something there. So I decided to stick with fielding Guaita. Robertson comes in, Trippier and Shah as a double thing in Newcastle, which is a problem because I also have Mitrovic and Andreas there. So it's a bit of issue for me, but I think I'm fine. KDB, of course, whom I've always had. Will he return this week? I don't know, but he is flavor of the week this week, despite being bad purely because of the double game week. Martinelli stays, Almiron stays. So Darwin, all right. So okay, sure. If Darwin doesn't start, I've got Andreas coming in, who will definitely play. But
Yep.
I'm willing to. At the moment, I know it's a few more hours to a deadline, but at the moment, I feel like I'm willing to risk leaving Darwin in the lineup. Mitrovic, Haaland. So obviously, I don't have my captaincy on Haaland. I have him on Rashford, as I mentioned in midweek, and I think I will risk it and put Rashford as
Okay.
captaincy.
I agree, especially in your position. I think you definitely want to take any advantage if you can improve your rank. So
Yeah,
I'll support that.
thank you.
So actually you bring in Rashford and
Just Rashford. I haven't taken a hit. So
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 I'm
basically you take only Manchester. Yeah. Okay.
but I'm torn because I feel like if I wanted to bring in another player, it would probably be either Shar for Shaw or a
Okay.
midfielder, which a double game midfielder, which could be anyone from Zaha to Mahrez. So it's a bit of a dilemma.
Okay. And so I just want to ask whether you have money if you want to upgrade Darwin to King. Just asking.
Oh, what Darwin to Kane? Yes, I can.
Uh,
I, I can.
okay.
I've
All
got
right.
with one unit left over. I've checked that.
Okay, understand. But I can also understand in terms of whether you're trying to keep Darwin that he could actually play. And Kane, the caveat, like we mentioned, he's on 4 yellow cards, so he could miss another. So I can understand this decision. I definitely will play Guita, despite so-called Chelsea against Manchester. But you already mentioned Chelsea away. Chelsea is not so formidable right now, and Manchester at home, Palace could be a tough night at home. So I will definitely play a
To be
doubling
honest,
players
to be honest,
later.
I'm really banking on the first leg, which is against Chelsea, because
All
I
right.
have increased respect for Manchester United of late, and
Okay.
yeah, I don't expect anything from that one.
All right, man. Okay. I think that's your team. If you make a late move, it will definitely Shaw coming in lah first, right?
Probably.
Okay. All right. Okay. I think we take some question. There's a lot of question here.
Is there?
Okay. Yep. Rakan FPL, as always, he will ask, is Salah to KDB move is something that we need to do this week?
It seems like it. You've got Darwin dropping off as well. So of course, Gakpo is there, but he's new. So I don't know. Yeah. So Yeah, it's just KDB is a lot more attractive despite the fact that they play Manchester United against Spurs. But when push comes to shove, he's a lock it for the City
Yep.
lineup.
Yep. 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 I agree. I agree. I think this week could be the one that he's performing because the past 3 weeks he does not. So hopefully KDB will perform. Next question. He has Havertz that he wants to move to Tony. Like we mentioned, Thomas Frank already mentioned. Tony will play this week.
So it's a single gamer thing. As long as you're comfortable with that, then yeah, I think Tony. I mentioned just now, Tony has a good shot of outscoring double gamers this week because that Bournemouth South looks sad.
Okay, okay. If you're talking about double game with players, maybe I just put there Tony or Martial. What would you do? Martial is playing twice this week.
He's playing twice this week, but Marshall doesn't seem to be explosive, and he's uh Ten Hag is clearly protecting him, wary about his fitness. So he's still not getting 90 minutes. He always gets subbed out 60 plus minutes. I mean that helps him for getting 2 matches, but not in terms of production.
Yeah, I agree with Azmin, Rakan FPL. I think if you make this Tony move and he explode, he actually have 3 fixture, nice fixture coming up. So we just hope his betting charges cases are not come out and suddenly he's not going to be or he's suspended for some time. That's the only concern right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Next one is Kane essential, man. Is Kane a must have?
Well, to me, he isn't. I can't. I mean, you just asked me about whether you have enough, and I do have enough, but it's just not there. I just don't feel it at the moment.
Okay, all right, fair. I feel also he's not essential, but I guess if you want to make a move for a forward replacing Darwin, I think maybe he's the next one, the next best thing. So that's what
Nice
I feel.
friend.
Next, I think it's interesting. Nobody has been talking about De Gea. So both are playing twice this game week. De Gea or Edison? What do you think, man?
The popular pick seems to be Edison, but I think a good case can be made for De Gea in the sense that United City haven't been doing well. As you know, they haven't looked solid, whereas Manchester United have. So yeah, I would go for. I mean, you guys, most people have Shaw, so I think
Yeah.
De Gea is a good pick as well.
Okay, I agree.
De Gea.
I haven't checked the Gea price. I suppose he's still 5 million or somewhere there. He's still nice price. Yeah, it's a tough one. I think both pick are good. Sun or KDB? Interesting one. I mean, do you have any love for Sun?
I I do, but that price it's the same price as Kane, I think, which is insane. Can you just take a look? Yeah, so it's such a stumbling block for anyone considering bringing in Sun. He's so
Yeah,
expensive.
same price. 11.6.
Maybe well, he might prove me wrong. So
I think the short answer is KDB, especially playing in a better team. Okay, so I feel it's KDB this week unless you really really punt. We know Sun can be explosive. He just need like 15-20 minutes to score hat trick. He already proved that this season. Okay, this question as I think I can take this one because I have Cancelo, keep or sell. For me, I won't take another hit to bring a replacement for Cancelo by guessing Akanji, Laporte and Stones are out. Why not just give him another chance? Maybe my answer is not the one that people are looking because people did mention Cancelo should be out. Get him out, get the likes of Shaw, maybe an Arsenal defender, maybe, or maybe we wait if he does not perform and we can get a a news in terms of there's expectation on Double GW21 or 22 coming up involving Arsenal assets, Brighton assets. It could be another Manchester United asset. So I think that's what I feel. Maybe we just hold and see moving forward.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Shaf asks, how many double game week players is ideal for this week, man?
I think if it gets, I think you get 5 or 6. That's decent already. Yeah, I mean you got to take into the fact that there's a lot of tough matches the double gamers are. So if we get 5, I think that's okay. Yeah,
I think
but
okay. As long you have, as then you have definitely you have Haaland. Okay, I think if you have the key players like KDB, Rashford, or maybe to an extent Shaw, I think you should be okay. Rakan FPL did mention, because we mentioned about FPL Harry, he already made the move. Stones and Kane transfer early and caught up with the City latest news. He now asking us, man, should he takes a hit to sell Stone or just keep fit? He's starting the second match.
no, I'd say just to me just keep. Yeah, I don't think it's worth taking another hit to
Yeah,
get him out.
yeah. I think keep fit. He playing second match. If not, Man City has another double game week in 23, so he might be already ready for that game. So this is something a long term one, I suppose. Okay. All right, we go Brian. He asking us what any wildcard suggestion. If we are wildcarding, what kind of shape our team will be. Maybe some suggestion.
Okay, there's a lot of uncertainty regarding when, because there may be more double game weeks on the horizon, so that's why it's a bit tough. The good because a lot of this there's no double game which is like crazy must have, because against strong top teams against relegation zone teams there isn't any. So I would think that wild card is not an option for this week.
All right. But if you want to do any wildcard, on top of my head, okay, since double game week players for 20, I think you will have 3 Man City players, okay, and 2 minimum Manchester United players. It could be KDB, Haaland, or maybe you feel Edison is more safe first. You pick as your keeper. You must have Rashford and I suppose Luke Shaw. The rest,
Yep.
I think maybe Trippier is definitely need to be there. Maybe one Arsenal defense, okay, and definitely one of Arsenal midfield. Whether you like Martinelli or Odegaard could be the one. All right, and then at striker, why not you take Tony? Maybe because he has 3 matches coming out, he's confirmed to play. So that's
He's
that's why I
confirmed to
feel.
play. He's confirmed to play the first match, first of those 3. Don't know what happens after that. So yeah, yeah. But
So
but
that's
yeah, just the point. I think Odegaard might be the better pick at this point. Yeah, but if you can have more than one Arsenal attacker, I think that might be a good idea. But that's the problem with wildcarding this week, because Arsenal don't have a double this week.
all right. Thanks, Brian, for that question. Brian did also want to mention that Marshall is a doubt. Okay, all right. So maybe we should not think of moving him in, but if you already have, I think you play him. And he already sold Marshall. Okay, all right. Thanks for that. Okay, man. I think we come to the end of the stream. It's nice, just below 1 hour mark. I like that. We try to keep it short. Managers, you have around 1.5 hour more. You still have time,
Good.
but don't overthink. I think just take the main players, captain the right one. Maybe one question that people are not asking: should we consider triple captaining Haaland this week, man?
No, City aren't exactly going great guns at the moment, so no.
All right, short answer. But if you feel lucky, if you feel Haaland has the uh, the urge to score big this week, maybe you should go. It's just between just your instinct, how you feel like it.
Yeah.
Okay, man. Your last word before we wrap up.
All the best. Good luck with the captaincies, and good luck that you don't. Good luck with those with Harry Kane. Yeah, that's it.
All right. Same with me. I'm a Kane owner right now. So good luck to me. Okay. Just remind again to everyone, the deadline for Game Week 20 will be at 2:30 a.m. Today. Okay. And don't miss out on this deadline. And whoever is around here, we appreciate if you hit the like button if you like our stream, and subscribe to our FPL YouTube channel to receive early notification whenever we are live. So thanks again to everyone for joining this deadline stream. We shall see you again in Game Week 21. Until then, stay safe and may the force be with you for Game Week 20. Bye bye.
Always. Bye.